So Jazz, thanks for taking time to talk with me today about your experience with Embodied Faith, which is a new group we started and tried out this semester, this past fall. I would love for you to just share about what your initial thoughts were when you heard about this group being offered called Embodied Faith, and you can be honest, what you might have felt like, oh, I'm not sure I want to try that or not. What were your thoughts and what made you decide to try it?
Yeah, so when I thought of or heard of Embodied Faith, I didn't really know exactly what it was. I figured it would be something related to religion because it has faith in it. But as far as the embodied part, I didn't really know what to expect, and I was definitely hesitant about joining because of that. But during fall retreat, we had a conversation about it, and I went to one of the meetings, and after our conversation, I was like, okay, maybe it's something I could check out. But yeah, I'd say my initial thoughts was that I was curious and curious about what exactly it was.
Yeah, so I wonder if I could dig into that a little more because I remember the first time you came to try it out, and my observation was, I was like, I think Jasmine feels pretty skeptical about this whole thing, and that you were like, this ain't for me. And so I wasn't surprised when you did not come back the following week. Would you share a little more about that first week, why you were like, I don't think so?
Yeah, well, the first time I came, I didn't really know exactly what we were gonna do, and then some of the practices at first seemed very kind of hippie-ish, kind of really out there in my head. It was really hard for me to understand the purpose of it and why are we doing these weird motions with our body. So then after that, I was like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. And then during fall retreat, we had that conversation, and I told you how,
Yeah, I remember that conversation. Would you share more for others about what that conversation was? Because I remember you were like, I don't really want to do that, but through the course of the conversation, you had some aha moments. Could you share more about that?
Yeah, so I think it started, it was about you preaching on Sundays, and you were saying how it's you feel uncomfortable doing that. It's not your favorite thing in the world, and that was really surprising to me, and it took me a minute to understand well, why would you do this thing if it makes you feel uncomfortable?
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the conversation, just something along the lines of just thinking about why it makes you feel uncomfortable, and is it the kind of thing that you can push through and lean into that feeling of uncomfortableness, and just kind of the difference of because I don't know, it's not necessarily a bad thing to feel uncomfortable, and sometimes we do things that make us feel uncomfortable and they're good for us. So I think before my initial reaction was if I feel uncomfortable to run away from it. But that conversation kind of showed me that it's not necessarily a bad feeling, and just because something's new, it makes sense to feel uncomfortable, and it's worth giving it another try.
Yeah, I was so glad to have that conversation about what it's like to sit through discomfort, because a lot of embodied faith is learning to kind of be more aware.
Yeah.
And so you did come back, and tell me what that experience was like, kind of coming back and coming again and again after you were like, I don't like this is uncomfortable. What did you start to experience, and maybe what became something, maybe what moved from uncomfortable to something you felt like was valuable, even if it was uncomfortable?
Yeah, so I think the big difference between the first time I came and the time I came after our conversation was, I think when I entered the space, for my first time, I entered it very skeptical, and entered it with this mindset of it's not really my kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that second meeting, I really came with an open mind and being oh, maybe this is something I can learn from.
Yeah.
So I think just shifting that mindset of already coming up walls up, to that first meeting, to coming again and really just trying to participate and really just give it a chance.
Yeah.
Made it a lot better.
Yeah. So would you share maybe about one or two of the embodied practices that we did together during the semester that felt meaningful to you, and why they were meaningful to you?
Yeah, so I think the first one is we start each meeting with our meditation, and that was really good for me. During the school week, things can get really busy and really hectic.
Yeah.
So it was nice having that Thursday night, I have it already settled. I'm gonna come and just decompress a little, because sometimes at like time when we were doing the meditation, it'd be like the only part of the week that was quiet, you know, the first time that I really was able to settle down. So like that was something I really enjoyed, was just getting that time to just be with everyone and just like not say like the things happening in the week isn't important, but like for this hour of time, we're gonna like set them aside and just focus on this right now. So that was really nice.
Yeah. So just that, it's kind of amazing how often we won't even sit intentionally still for 5 minutes and be quiet.
Yeah.
But that, how much of a difference that
Yeah,
made. So that was,
really
and we did that diaphragmatic breathing that really centered us. Yeah, I found that really meaningful too and helpful. Are there other practices that felt like they were meaningful?
Yeah, I definitely would say Chunji. Like that was my favorite part of Embodied Faith. Every single week, I look forward to like learning a different movement.
Yeah.
I think it was just great. Like it felt very like playful in a way, because it's not very often that you like get in a group with other people and you like learn this like new thing. So it was very like playful in that sense. And then just like the sense of community where it's like you're with your peers and you all want to learn this like new thing. And it's very like low risk, like judgment free. Everyone's just working towards the same thing. And then also just like incorporating like the idea of like balance within it. So like the breathing and then like focusing on yourself, but like keeping in mind with the group. It was a really fun thing to like learn.
So maybe the last thing I would ask is, what would you say to somebody who is like, what is this thing? I'm not sure about it. They have lots of hesitations. What would you say maybe to encourage them about why this group might be something that they want to check out?
I think I would say that it's just a space to really decompress. Like throughout the week it can get really busy, but Embodied Faith is a time to like decompress and really just focus on yourself and focus on your body, which I think as college students, like it's very easy to like forget about that and neglect that. But like during Embodied Faith, it's a time to really just like focus on yourself, take care of yourself, and so that's what I would say to encourage them to come.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Is there anything else that you just want to say generally about Embodied Faith experience?
Chunji is really cool. Yeah, I think everyone should try it. It's really cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jasmine. Appreciate you taking the time.